Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Scare Soldier bringing you another Borderlands 3 video, and in today's video we got a special guest. That's right, we're pulling out the Moze, and we have the Fire Phoenix Moze build for you guys. So we are going to explain everything about the build and what you guys need. So let's get right into it. For starters, you're going to want to have the Kib's Worth, of course. This is Moze's best gun, honestly, for individual targets. Very good fire rate, good splash damage consistently. And, of course, it comes in 2 elements, which is nice and handy. The anointment I have on this is consecutive hits. Reason being is because this is going to be our main gun that we will be using for taking out individual enemies and smaller targets. Now, the next gun we have on this build is the Recursion. This one is our crowd control when there becomes a lot of enemies. Most of Moze's weapons, she's not like a Zane character where she just chains enemies and kills groups and controls the crowd. She typically needs to use a Kib's Worth and individually kill each target, and that takes quite some time. So a really good crowd control weapon that gives you splash damage as well as the Recursion, and I recommend getting the one that gives you 160% increased splash damage. This one is super powerful. You hit one enemy that has a lot of mobs around him, dude, it's gonna kill at least 5-6 enemies very easily. So get you one of these. The other gun I'm using to rip off shields and things like that is the Butcher. You can use the Soul Render as well. That's a very good gun. The other one, I keep another Recursion, but you can also use the Cutsman on you. The most important anointments you guys want to have for these builds is the splash damage anointments, consecutive hits for those individual targets, and also you can pull off 125% extra damage with the extra 2 mags do extra damage, 125% incinerary when you exit Iron Bear. Those are some really good anointments to have for this build. Now the shields quickly, I have the Transformer on. That one's really nice because it's really easy to fill up your shield by just by doing shock damage to yourself. You can basically fill up your shield. The other one I really like a lot is the Recharger. This one's really nice too, because again, when you're doing damage and killing enemies, Moze keeps getting bonuses to her shield capacity and also gun damage, and what that means is that it's going to be more and more tough to take down the shield, and it only takes 20 seconds and it's back to full. So imagine if you have like a 50,000-60,000 capacity shield, and then all of a sudden it goes right back to full again. Now the enemies have to take that down, and that takes time, so it's pretty good against mobs. The other recommended shield I like is the Old God. The Old God is really great for extra damage. Obviously Moze is more of an incinerary character, so this gives incinerary damage, and the anointment you're going to want to have on your shields for the most part is ASC, gain 50% bonus incinerary damage. That's going to really help out. The class mod I'm using is the Blastmaster. Now, I can probably get way more damage than what I was getting in most of those clips that you guys saw previously, but here are my rolls. These are not good rolls by no means. These are absolutely garbage. The rolls you want to have is definitely splash damage, shotgun damage, SMG damage on your Blastmaster, with for sure the most important thing is that you have 1 point in that green little perk right there. You want 1 point in there no matter what Blastmaster you have. End of story. This is going to give us splash damage up to 100%. The longer Moze goes without reloading, which is going to be very easy the way we have the build set up. The artifact you're going to want to have is the Pearl of Inevitable. This is fantastic for extra damage with Moze. Since she's a character who basically instantly regens ammo constantly, she shoots for quite some periods of time, so it's very easy to keep your stack bonuses up with the Pearl of Inevitable. With the mag size is very helpful. Lastly, the cloning matting tracker, of course, is just one of the go-to grenades for Moze. Very easy to heal herself. They last really long in the sky. They home in onto targets, and it really heals you good. And the anointment I have on mine is Grenade Thrown, but you can also get one with ASC 50 Incinerary. But yes, there that is. Now let's get to the skill tree where it gets a little more interesting. So first things first, you're going to want to start off in Demolition Woman. I find that Moze gets most of her damage through splash, so if you're really trying to get some damage and kill people with Moze, Demolition Woman is your go-to. So we have 5 points in fire in the Skag Den. That's going to give us bonus incinerary damage. Means of Destruction, again, this is going to give us that grenade regen, which is important. We have more radius, so we can damage more nearby enemies for some crowd control. We have Pull the Holy Pin. Now this one, surprisingly, this makes grenades actually kill people, to be honest. Borderlands 3, the grenades are not like Borderlands 2. The grenades are kind of weak, but honestly, with Pull the Holy Pin, I find it actually kills people, which is actually really insane. I didn't realize how much damage it does, but it actually can kill people. Vampire, no question about it. It's going to give us also survivability, easy peasy. More grenades. We're throwing out a lot of grenades, so we're going to need that. This build is all about kind of mobbing, so we're not really relying too much on Iron Bear. The only thing we like about Iron Bear is the fact that we need him to get in and get out if we want to do a lot of damage to bosses. So I didn't spec in anything that had to do with Iron Bear, since this is more of a mobbing setup. We put 1 point in explosive punctuation because simply we're doing splash damage basically almost every single shot we're doing. So as soon as I do splash damage, I'm adding more to cooldown rate, which is nice. So that's pretty much all I need since I'm doing splash damage consistently. 8% adds up quite quick, and my action skill is back before I know it. And then finally, this is where I really wanted to get down to, is short fuse. Short fuse gives you basically an extra explosive damage to your shots that do 75% worth of your gun damage, which is a lot of gun damage, and it really makes a difference. I'm using augments on the Iron Bear. Iron Bear is good. It can do a lot of damage, obviously with the new buffs. So if you do want to use Iron Bear and don't want to dip out of it too quickly, you can use the Vanquish rockets with the target softening. That's really good. I find it does quite a bit of damage and also weakens enemies for you. With the railgun combination is nice. The next tree, oh yeah, this is where we're going to get some more gun damage from with Moze, Shield Retribution. Now we put 5 in Armored Infantry because it's free gun damage and also damage reduction. We put obviously Drowning in Brass because this is a free 60% gun damage since it stacks 3 times. So again, more gun damage for Moze. Then we go over here, and this is going to increase our max shield and give us also shock damage resistance, so making us more tankier with our shields. Then we have the Experimental Munition, again another free 15% gun damage, which is awesome. We only need really 1 point in here because most of the time we're either using a transformer or a recharger, so basically those shields really insta-fill if you play them right. This is only kind of helpful a little bit if I'm using the Old God. This is important because since we didn't spec heavily into like a Deathless build, our shield regen is not as high, but either way they nerfed the Bloodletter quite heavily, so the regen isn't even that great anyway most of the time now. But again, our life does go down way more often than people think. So this is just a free extra gun damage whenever our health gets low in situations, etc. A little extra gun damage there. And then finally, we have the Doctrine perk right here. This is going to stack and give us more gun damage and also max shields that last 30 seconds, which is really nice. So you're going to get a really fat shield with Moze and more gun damage the more people you kill. So again, we're getting a lot of gun damage. We have the railgun also equipped on this setup. The railgun does hella damage, so definitely equip this if you're going to use Iron Bear. And I like the chaining because this is, like I said, a mobbing build. So again, crowd control, chaining enemies. I mean, I come from a guy like Zane, so I like chaining, you know what I'm saying? Last but not least, where this build all comes together is bottomless mags. Now, normally people will like to spec all the way down to this tree to get that forever ammo regen. But honestly, you don't even need to go that far to get infinite ammo with just retribution. If you have 2 points of retribution, you basically have infinite ammo as long as you're hitting crits, which is really easy because you're doing a lot of splash and your splash is hitting a big radius, so you will do a lot of critical hits, making you have insane ammo regen. So you don't even need to go down here. We also spec in the Cloud of Lead. This is going to give us bonus incendiary damage again, and every 4 shot does not consume ammo. So the combination of the redistribution with Cloud Lead really helps with ammo regeneration. And again, we need to not reload very often with Moze, so we definitely need to spec in the bottom snags a little bit since we have the Blastmaster on. So that's the build, guys. I'm gonna show you my Guardian rank too, just because some people like to see that. Actually, let's add some damage right here to elemental damage. But here we are, we're 472, just for those who want to know. And that's our Moze. Now let's get into some gameplay, guys. I'll meet you over. So the first thing with our Fire Phoenix Moze is that this is more of a mobbing build, and I know it's kind of hard to believe, but yes, we are mobbing with Moze. So you see us in the Slaughter Shaft, and the most important thing when it comes to the Slaughter Shaft is using weapons that give you a good amount of crowd control and also splash damage. So you see us using things like the Soul Render, the Recursion when there's many enemies around, and also for the tougher enemies, we also sometimes pull out the Lob. And it's really nice with those weapons because they have a good mag size and you can often spam them, which is really sweet. Keep in mind, guys, Moze is really hard to always, you know, keep alive, so you want to make sure you're throwing grenades as much as possible. That is why we spec'd in quite heavily into Vampire and also into the grenade capacity, because if you're not throwing grenades frequently enough, you will see yourself dying in terms of like the mobbing situations, because there's a lot of enemies in the slaughter shaft, for example, that are shooting rocket launchers at you, and there's not only one enemy, there's like 5 or 6 of them all homing in on you. So if you're not throwing your grenades, that can be a downfall with a character like Moze. So just make sure you're throwing up a couple of those maddening trackers as you go along the things like the takedown, slaughter shaft, proving grounds, and then you should be good, no problem. Nonetheless, one of my favorite guns, of course, to use with Moze at the moment, with the anointment of 160% splash damage, is the recursion, because it absolutely knocks out all the enemies around. So it's a great gun to use. The other gun that's really sick is the Kibs. So make sure you guys go ahead and pick up that gun. That gun is absolutely probably Moze's best weapon overall to kill individual enemies. And this gun over here, guys, procs so much splash damage. If you want to regen grenades quick, this is the gun you guys want to use. Obviously, we're not using too much of Iron Bear. You can still get away with using Iron Bear a little bit. This is not really an Iron Bear build. I wanted to kind of make Moze more mobbing rounded. I find that she was lacking quite a bit of damage, so I wanted to get the best of both worlds by using the shield retribution tree with the blue tree at the same time, and kind of get that Moze specialty of that ammo regen, and that was what we were able to accomplish with our build. So you guys see it here, we are doing a lot of damage with our Moze, which is quite surprisingly for some people, and we're having a lot of fun, honestly. She's a little slower, obviously, than a lot of the other characters that I use. Actually, I only use really one other character right now, which is Zane. So that's the only change that I had so far, is adapting to the normal speed, if you guys will. But that is why I like to sometimes put on the old God shield, because while that shield is full, you get a little bit of movement speed. So that is really clutch. Now you see right there, we just absolutely murked the Kraken with the recursion, and that is exactly why I love the recursion. And again, another situation where the recursion was nice was when all those enemies were grouped up, the Valkyries, and we absolutely melted their shield to immunity. So Moze could do some damage, guys. Don't sleep on your girl Moze. I feel like she's going to get some more buffs in the future with the new class mods and some new anointments coming up with Mayhem 2.0. But nonetheless, this is probably one of the best builds that I've used with Moze, so I hope you guys try out the Fire Phoenix Moze build, and let me know, guys, what you guys think about the build. What's your opinions? This is the first Moze build on my channel, so go easy on me in the comments if you will, but I think this is a pretty good build for the first build we threw on this channel, guys. It's doing a lot of damage. We're having a lot of fun. So if you guys liked the video and you found this helpful, please smash that like button for your boy and subscribe to the channel, guys. It's road to 1,000 subs. Come on, I know we can make 1,000 subs happen real easy, especially with this awesome Borderlands 3 community. So smash that subscribe button for your boy. Turn on post notifications to make sure you guys do not miss a video. And I'm going to see you on the next one, guys. By the way, I will be announcing soon when I will be streaming. I'll have like more of a better stream schedule so you guys can know when I'm on maybe Twitch, YouTube. I'll decide which one is going to be more convenient for y'all. But nonetheless, guys, I'm going to be out. Enjoy the rest of the gameplay. I'll see you in the next one. It's your boy Scare Soldier signing out. Peace.